G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world. Lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists in Australia do what they do. Well, good day viewers, welcome back to Colour in Your Life. As you can hear and obviously see, we're out in the rainforest at the moment and I'm with a delightful lady, Sylvia Ditchburn. Sylvia, welcome to the show.
Hello Graham, welcome to Townsville.
Thank you very much. We are in Townsville and we're at a place, a beautiful park called Plein-air.
That's right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
In Townsville, and it's a rainforest park with about 5 or 6 different varieties in here, isn't it?
Yes.
And the noises you can hear are the flying foxes and the cicadas and the birds, so it's going to be one of those days where we've got a lot of interaction with other things. But getting back to Sylvia, and I've just got it here. When I started to print Sylvia's resume out, it was just pages and pages and pages, and I thought, my God, what a career. An amazing lady that paints in watercolours, acrylics and oils, but does a lot of painting, and it's called plein-air. Now, you've also been in a number of different trusts and artists in residence, which was the Arthur Boyd Bundanoon Trust as well, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Which is amazing. And also a PhD.
Yes.
Which is amazing. And so she's had the full gamut, plus also you're travelling as well. Yeah. That's been quite amazing. Tell me where you've actually been throughout the world with your art.
Well, Russia was an amazing journey, and China, did a residency in China. Also went to Greece and did a workshop in Greece. And so it's been an amazing career. And
your PhD, how long did that take you? That's a work of art in itself, isn't it?
Yes, that's a really intense study, that is. And as a woman artist, I was keen to look at other women artists and what they were doing in the world. So my focus then became on women artists in regional Queensland, because a lot of female artists, there are a lot of female artists in the world. A lot of them are not recognised, and I was even asked the question, are there any? So that sort of made me more determined than ever to write their stories up and make them part of history. So the thesis was called Women Artists in Tropical Landscapes. So there was a variety of artists. It wasn't just painters, it was sculptors and fibre artists, printmakers and jewellers. So I went across the board, and at the time when I was doing my PhD there was a lot of professional artists living in Townsville at the time. Yeah. So it was a really exciting thing to do.
It's amazing, and you've actually also got your own gallery in Townsville as well.
Yes. Well, as we would know, galleries close all the time, and I was with a gallery in Townsville for 15 years, but it closed. So Ken and I decided we'd try and open a gallery and have a shop front for my work, and then I include some other local artists and have themed shows as well. And it's been about 5 years now, so it's been very successful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, plein air painting, how long have you been doing that for?
Probably about when I first started with Mervyn Moriarty took us out. He came up to Innisfail when I was living there, and he was very determined that we all went out and started to learn to see what was in the environment, which was a really fantastic thing to do, because then it set me on a path of subject matter that was very, very broad. There's so much to see and so much beauty in the landscape, so it was wonderful.
But you're going to take us through actually painting some of this rainforest scenery here and how you do that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Sylvia's studio and then finish off what you've actually started out. So what do you do to actually get this started? Well,
when I first come into the landscape, I have a look around and see what I think will be a suitable subject, and then I do some thumbnail sketches, and when I'm happy with that, I will then transfer that onto the canvas.
All right, beautiful sketches, great photos. Where do we go from here?
Oh well, I'll do another sketch and then block in the painting. I usually like to use underpainting that's complementary, so it brings a lot of life to the painting.
Okay.
So you've got like really bright colours like oranges and reds underneath, and then with the greens and other colours on top, it vibrates. So
beautiful.
you get a really nice vibration in the painting.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to step aside and I'm going to let you start so that the audience can watch what you do.
Okay, thank you, Graham.
Now you use a felt pen, you find that that's easier for you?
I like this calligraphy pen because it's got a variety of marks you can make. You can give a thick and thin line, which gives you variety and a variation, and because you've got a lot of variation in your landscape and the leaf forms, and it's really good to be able to describe that rather than just the same shape, the same thickness of line.
Okay. So I can see that you're using chroma colours there as well. You've even got a chroma apron on.
Yes, I'm very chroma.
That's what you call a fan.
I'm very chroma.
Chroma badge.
And a badge they sent me, yes.
That's great. I can see that you're looking at the sketch and the real form at the same time.
That's right. Because you can pick up on things that you've missed. That's just been a sketch just to get your bearings right and your orientation.
Yeah. So how would you describe your style of work?
Well, probably contemporary impressionism. I mean, you're still having an impression of the landscape. It's not like the French impressionists who did a particular style of work.
Yes. I think another question that a lot of beginner artists would ask a professional like yourself is, how do you handle the changing light as the day goes along? Do you have a moment that you capture at the beginning, or do you work with the change of light as well?
Yeah, you stay with the light that you're happy with, and then you usually take a photo of that particular light. Okay. And because you can't keep changing, you can change the forms in it, but you can't change the light all the time. It's just you'll end up with the mess.
You go mad.
Yeah. So you find it like this light's really beautiful, but basically if you want shadow lines and direction of light, well, the light's there, so you've got a bit of shadow on this side and under that side.
All right, well, I've noticed that a lot of the colours that you're putting down are actually quite transparent. So from where I can see, I may be wrong, but you're really just building the picture at the moment.
Really building it up, doing some more layers. Here's the first layers for it, and then
getting the feel of where you're going with it.
Yes, keeping it alive and a bit of energy in it.
Yes.
Once the painting dies, it's a bit hard to get some life into it.
But in saying that, I mean, how do you describe when the painting dies? What happens as far as you're concerned?
Well, the colours go muddy or dead. You can't resurrect it, and you lose interest yourself in it. It doesn't have the energy for you.
Absolutely.
That you like to have.
Sure.
And that if it hasn't got the energy, you don't feel like doing it. So you probably lose interest in the painting, and might want to do something else.
Okay, fair enough. Well, as you can see, Sylvia's really made some great progress with this, but what we're going to do, because it is plein air and the thunder clouds are starting to roll in, we are in the tropics at the moment, we're going to head back to the studio and start on the second stage of this piece and then see how Sylvia develops that, obviously working in the studio, and then to the final piece as well. But just beautiful working out here for a start. It's just been such a pleasant morning, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Just fabulous, it really has. But we'll head back to the studio now and we'll start over there. We'll see you when we get there. Okay, well, from the rainforest back into the studio, and we're going to go through and complete the process today of this beautiful rainforest scene. So you've got a magnificent studio as well.
Oh, thank you.
Really
Graham.
is. I mean, you obviously understand an artist very well when you walk into this studio, and you've got some great diplomas on the wall as well, mind you. Not only a great artist, but a good academic as well. Where do we go from now, and what are we going to do to finish this off?
So we're going to develop this this sketch or painting that I've used the layers to develop it to this stage.
Okay. Well, I'll duck out of the camera and I'll let you start, and I'll fire some questions.
Okay, thank you.
So obviously living in a rainforest area, which is what Townsville is, it's a tropical area. What's the scenery that evokes the greatest emotion in you? Is it the Australian outback? Is it the rainforest?
I like both actually. I like the drama of both of them, the rich reds of this one I started painting out in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that the red rocks and the richness of the colour.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from the Darling Downs as we did, it was always a struggle for my parents who loved gardening to grow anything, because there was always these frosts that killed everything off. So when I came up here, there was so much lushness and an abundance and fecundity that's really exciting as well. They're both dramatic and they're both exciting. So both of those areas are what I really love.
Yes, but I mean, to get out there, I mean, even just this morning, and you know, utilising the position of plein air to be able to get out in nature is just so exciting in itself.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It has a completely different feeling to the studio, because you don't have all of that ambience that you have out there, the sun and the wind and all the noises that go that are about in the landscape that help you feel at one with it, I guess.
Okay, excellent. So even with your brush, I can see that you've got a huge array of brushes there as well. I mean, do you have any preferences?
I've got a bit of a brush fetish, I think.
And they're not exactly cheap brushes either, by the way. But the point is, I'm quite sure that you'd probably agree, is that your tools are so important to you.
Yeah.
And if you've got bad tools, you generally end up with a bad product as well.
Well, I always have a whole range of brushes to clean at the end of the day, but that doesn't matter, because I find if I want pure colour, I've got to change the brushes regularly. And if you've got a whole range of a particular size, well then you don't have a problem.
Yeah.
You're not picking up on the paint that you had in the previous brush.
Sure.
So it works.
Just lots of water.
Yeah, lots of water. Yeah.
All right, so what are we putting into the paint now?
This is a clear painting medium, and it gives the paint makes it more fluid.
Okay.
And easier to manipulate.
So in a sense, this is still really a process of mapping in.
Oh, it's all
those
building
colours.
up the layers. Yeah.
Now you don't find, obviously with acrylics, it doesn't matter what they are, that drying times affect your work or the way that you approach your work?
Oh, it's probably very useful to me, because I'm fairly impatient with my painting. So because it dries quickly, that's a bonus.
Okay.
With the oil paint, but because when I started off painting, it only had watercolour or oil paint. And oil paint always took too long to dry.
Yes, it certainly does. I can vouch for
And you're
that.
wanting to move on, and then you didn't have any more ideas, when you started. You've only got one idea. And you can't do it because, it's not dry yet, or it's going to crack or something. So with acrylic, it's really great for my personality.
Yeah, and I think the acrylics are probably a great paint for the tropics as well. I think the humidity does affect the oil. And obviously if you're working with watercolours, the heat dries it out, but the acrylics sort of tend to maintain their consistency, particularly in this type of heat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as typical, I do too much gas bagging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Sylvia work on the piece for a little while, and I'm going to back away, and we'll watch how she progresses through this.
Okay. I always like to keep a wet palette, and I use a kitchen wipe, wet it, and then I put baking paper over the top. So it just keeps the life of your acrylic paint a bit longer.
It's just a great idea, it really is. I mean, I know a lot of...
And very cost effective.
Yeah, it's just wonderful. I mean, a lot of artists use the spray to keep it going with a mister, but that's just a great technique to keep your acrylics wet.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And this is just a watercolour palette because of the size, but you can always clip it down, you know, pegs and all sorts of things you can use.
Great idea.
Just be a bit creative.
Yeah. Another golden moment in the history of art. But it looks like you've got varying coloured waters for varying coloured paints. I mean,
I like to keep the colours clean,
Yeah.
and that's one way of doing it, not just grey water.
Yep.
So you've got, you know, like the greens. Once they get too muddy and everything, you change it.
Yeah.
But you know, if you want a clean red, well, you're never going to get it in with grey water, are you? A lot of students used to come round and talk and, how do you get your colours? And I said, well, a good trick is to have clean water.
Yeah.
It's not very.
Really?
You don't need a science degree or be a...
But in saying that, you're sort of talking about students. I mean, you do plein-air teaching as well with about 10 students at a time, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think that if anybody...
just small groups.
Yeah.
Not like too big, otherwise people don't get enough attention.
Yeah. But particularly if you're in the Townsville, Bowen, Eyre area, they really should come and talk to you about, you know, exploring the world of art outside and experiencing nature.
Yeah, well, it's so exciting anyway. It's enjoyable to do it. You can stress too much about art. I think it shows if you don't enjoy what you do.
So do you mostly work standing up?
Yeah, in the studio I do.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was out in the field, I used to sit down a lot, and I used to have one of those little tiny ergonomic seats, and I'm sure I did my knees in, so I sat down for too long. You know.
So it wasn't so ergonomic after all?
Not for my knees.
Yeah.
Might have been for my back, but not for my knees.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'd sort of sit down from time to time,
Yeah.
you know, but mostly stand up because I just find it's better for my...
And I can see that you're using the extent of the brush. I mean, some people use a mail stick to do what they need to do, but yours is using the extent of the brush to do what you want it to do.
I always say you shouldn't choke your brush.
Sure.
Don't use it like a pencil.
Let it breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find you just get more movement because you think of it. I think of it as an extension of my arm.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, you need to get the whole thing going. Another thing I like about standing is that you got more movement in it. It's a more whole body movement rather than just sitting there with your pen. That's for me. Everyone's different, but just works better.
Well, as you can see, Sylvia has made some wonderful progress, but you were just telling me a little while ago about the red that you've actually mapped in here, and obviously there's a lot of shadows behind these trees, but can you explain to me your theory behind that colour there?
Well, in my work I like to use colour space rather than Renaissance colour space, and by that I mean that the red, even though it's a warm colour and it's supposed to be in front of the painting, when it's used in this context, it bounces off the green and it creates a really beautiful depth to the painting. So you'll get a really excitement there with the green and the red, which are opposite colours.
It's fascinating. So what colour are we going to put over this then to help create that depth once again?
There'll be some greens and blacks and some purples and blues. There'll be probably a lot, but the red will peep through and give a nice excitement to it.
Sounds
and
great.
It's nicer to put the red in the underpainting than on the top painting, the top of the painting.
Okay, so and apart from your studio, you have this beautiful gallery in Townsville. Whereabouts is the gallery?
Well, the gallery's in the CBD in Ogden Street, not far from Flinders Street.
Okay, and what's the actual address?
86 Ogden Street,
So
Townsville.
If you're in Townsville, guys, that's the place to go to see the artist from Townsville. Simple as that. we're going to do is we're going to let Sylvia work on this piece once again. You can actually see she's putting these darker colours down over the red, which I think looks amazing. And we're going to let her work on this until it's just about finished. But we'll duck away and we'll let you do what you need to do.
Okay.
Okay, well you're putting in those highlights and they really tend to snap the picture.
Yeah, bring it to life.
Yeah. And that white, you find that white opaque enough?
Well, now we've
Yeah.
got it to this stage,
sure.
enough layers underneath.
But it doesn't sort of tends to be a little...
Well, we'll see how it dries.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can test it. But sometimes when you first put it on, you know, in the underlayers, it's sort of so transparent that that it's got to be reinforced so much.
Sure. Well, guys, what an amazing day! Absolute
an amazing
pleasure.
day.
Thank you, Sylvia. It was amazing. Now that's plein air. You go out to the wilds. You're in nature, and that's obviously something that you absolutely love. And that was a great day. It really was. And then this amazing painting that she's done while we were here, which I think is just great. Now let's just go over your website again for the gallery and your website. And what's your website?
My website is sylviaditchburn.com and the gallery is sylviaditchburnfineartgallery.com.
So, and if you're in the Townsville area and you would like to do some plein air painting with you as well, please get in touch with Sylvia because this was an amazing day and an incredibly talented lady as well. We're going to head off once again, as we always do, travel to the country to see these amazing people. I just wanted to mention artprizes.com.au. We're working with us these days. Martin Shubb, amazing man, and he's helping us literally cross Australia and across the globe with great news about art prizes and exhibitions and obviously what Colour in Your Life's doing as well. You can come in and see us at Facebook, and you can once again come in and see us at colorinyourlife.com.au. But until we meet again, as we always say, remember guys, make sure you put some colour in your life, and we'll see you again next time. Bye now.
Bye.